zapatero.
And we are live! Welcome back to another episode of Supreme Verdict. I am one of your hosts, Jon Dunning, and as always on these shows, I'm joined by the pixiest of cats, Pixie Kitten. Welcome back.
Hello. How's it going?
Oh boy, is this going to be 60 minutes of that attempt, PK?
Yes,
I thought we talked about this.
Yes, this is going to be great. It's going to be fun. I'm going to use my British accent, and it's going to be awesome. It's good.
All right. So are you saying that there's some kind of connection or correlation, or do we have people that speak like that? Well, yes, we do, but more on that later. First off, I just want to thank everyone for showing up, and this is kind of prime time, hopefully, for our fellows across the pond, or fellows and fellas, Phillies. I don't know the proper, but yes, across the pond. So I hope this is going to become a great worldwide event. But first, before we jump into that, we do want to tell you about who's bringing this to you. That is cardsphere.com, simply the very best place to buy, sell, and trade your paper Magic the Gathering cards online. And please remember to join us on December 11th for the first ever Singles League Championship match between Jason Alt, Cat Light, and Alex Kessler for the first ever vacant belt. So these two gentlemen are competing in said singles league. Maybe not quite the belt just yet, but maybe one day. We'll see what happens.
I'm really excited for the championship game because honestly, I kind of miss Jason Alt. I'm just going to say it.
Said one person ever. And which we just did. No, I miss him all the time, of course. I miss his musk. But we're going to talk about our competitors like they're not here, but even though they are. Let's first talk about... let's talk about Mr. Spicy himself, and that is Spice 8-Rack, Connor McLeod, stand-up poet, MTG, video essays. He's a Yawgmoth cosplayer. So, how do you think that Connor, Mr. Spice 8-Rack, is going to fare in today's matchup?
I think Connor is going to do really well. I've heard a little rumor that he's even prepared some notes for this.
Uh-oh.
So
should we all be doing that? Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. Will it help? Will it be enough? I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know, but I hope he came correct because he is dealing with a monster, the number one MTG community member in the UK, and that is none other than Pleasant Kenobi, Vince, the co-host of Dice to Removal. He's a B-Master and Master Memer, and just what else can I say but milk? How do you think that Pleasant Kenobi is going to do up against his compatriot?
I think Vince is going to be a really strong competitor. He talks really fast. He can get a lot of words in a short amount of time. So, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, I think we've slow rolled this enough, PK. Let's jump in and meet our competitors officially. So introducing first, representing Channel Fireball, Spice 8-Rack, Connor! There you are.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Welcome back to the channel, sir.
Indeed. It's been a minute. I enjoyed my last time I was here, and I'm hoping to enjoy this time just as much, if not more.
I make no promises at all, but let's meet your opponent, representing also Channel Fireball, and that is, with 0 wins and 0 defeats, Pleasant Kenobi! Welcome back, Vince, and welcome back as well to the channel.
Boys and girls, yeah, it's been a while, John. It's been a while. Hello, Pixie Kitten, for the first time I think we've hung out. Is your hat a Guy Fawkes hat?
No, it's not.
You're that era, right? That is the hat that... Oh, was that a pilgrim's hat?
Yeah, it's more of a pilgrim's hat. But,
It's not got a belt on it.
I thought it fit.
That's like the thing.
You thought it's a pilgrim's hat.
Yeah, it's just a generic top hat. So, but it felt kind of British. I don't know.
No, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the effort. I put no effort in. I have no notes. I have no physio. I feel like I'm about to get completely ruined by Connor here.
Oh, well.
Don't worry. It's going to be a fun, calm, friendly competition, which I will win. It's going to be a nice time.
And first off, I want to thank the chat for rolling in. Everyone's kind of rolling in little by little, but we have already MTG Strategist, Cozy, Sharp Shivers, Card Bazaar, the coach is here, Galaxy Game, Chris, MTG Mudsta. So this, everyone is kind of showing up in spades for this much anticipated event. And first off, before we get into the proceedings, I just want to say I love everyone here. Let's keep it a good, clean debate, and let's get this on. So do we have, let's just go into the rules real quick. And round 3, chat, we have a good chat going, so please pay attention to round 3. So each round consists of opening arguments, rebuttals, opening statements. A question will be asked to the contestants in rotating order. Each contestant will be given 2 minutes. I need to amend this slide for their opening argument, then 1 minute for rebuttals. In round 1, 2, and 4, the grand arbiter for this proceeding, it will be myself. We'll decide who has won the round and will award 1 point to the round winning contestants. And this is all based off of not only the accuracy of the argument, but also entertainment-wise as well, because this is, not the impeachment hearing. This is just supposed to be for fun. And for whatever reason we do need to go into a sudden death, we will. But round 3, this is where it gets real important. That is going to be picked by the chat. So the chat gets, I get to take a nap during round 3, which is probably well-deserved after the first 2 rounds of this barn burner. So I'm going to go to sleep, and the chat will pick the winner of that round, and then that will roll into round 4. Do we have any questions from the competitors, Connor?
No, I think that's all. That makes sense to me.
Perfect. Vince?
I vaguely understand that we're arguing about things.
That's accurate. Yep.
I mean, that's most of our relationship whenever we see each other in real life anyway. But
It's just he tries to visualize everything. I'm like, stop it, Connor, stop.
I will nationalize you, Vince. I will.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's play that cool slide and wipe the board.
Do I need a notepad for this?
Sure. I have one.
I'm going to type loud, obnoxiously into my microphone while commenting.
I see. Well, I've got my laptop right next to me, so I'm going to be one hand on that, one hand on my energy drink.
Wow.
I also have one hand on my lap.
Oh my.
How did you guys know the first round question would be the placement or proper placement of hands during debates? But
I knew it. Prepare for this.
You guys are super prepared.
You're nuking the Earth right now? Is that what's happening?
Pixie Kitten, we have our first question. Let's put 2 minutes on the clock. You will be our scorekeeper.
Yes.
And you're actually wearing, quite honestly, all of the hats today because our couch is decommissioned until later. So, yes. Yeah. So literally all of the hats.
I'm ready.
My account. I wasn't trying to be mean. I like your hat.
It's okay. It's okay. I didn't take it as you being mean. It's fine.
You're like, oh shit. No. So she's not judging the round. So as long
I
as you
forgot
don't.
my hat. That's the problem. I don't own one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Put a hat on. Everybody should put a hat on.
I just did my hair for this.
I don't have a hat.
Oh my
I'm
god.
so glad you have a hat and I didn't. I'd feel bad.
You guys have headphones. All right. Are we ready here?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So question number 1. Listen
wait. Time out. Sorry.
Time out.
Who goes first? That's a good question that no one asked. It's actually, so we put during every or before every episode, we put out a Twitter poll, and the person that gets voted the most, who wins the Twitter poll, gets the slight advantage of picking whether they would like to receive or punt the ball. So take the first question first, or give it to the opponent. So it actually was about a little over 60% of the community. This was over like 400 votes voted in favor, said that Connor is the favorite. So you get to pick, sir, if you're going first or second.
You know what? I'll go first. I'll take that.
Wow.
I'll take the bullet.
Very nice.
Okay.
Lead by example.
There you go.
Exactly.
Okay.
And when I get eventually trashed, I can blame it on that decision.
Question number 1. Here we go. The US and UK are 2 countries separated by a bit of water and a common language. Separated, but okay. For instance, what you call biscuits, Americans call cookies, because that's what they are. Given the American roots of Magic the Gathering, we'd like to test your translating skills. Using any Magic card of your choice, translate it into proper UK English. Why is your card and translation better in its UK form than your opponent's?
Okay. Can I start?
Let me get the timer ready. And yes, go ahead and start.
Sweet. So my translation into from American into English would actually be Oko Thief of Crowns translates into Oko Republican. Unfortunately, that could never work in America because your understanding of what a Republican is very different to ours. However, Republican is just the correct way of saying someone who does not like the monarchy. And it is shorter, it's more concise. Maybe if it was shorter, the mana cost on Oko could have been 1 higher, and so he wouldn't have been as busted in standard. That would be, if I was translating any card, it would either be that or spell artifact correctly with an E rather than an I. That's me. That's all I got. I think that's concise enough.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
So we did say that it needs to be a Magic card. Oko is banned, so it's no longer a Magic card, but I digress.
It's a Magic card in Legacy. It's a Magic card in Legacy. You didn't say Magic card in Standard.
You know?
Listen, you.
Yeah. All right. 120 seconds on the clock for Mr. Pleasant Kenobi. Same question. Whenever Pixie says go.
Go.
So I have picked Cryptic Command for my choice, because Cryptic Command is basically Brexit, or take back sovereignty, depending on who you ask. It's a vague term that no one really understands what the fuck it means. That's why it's so cryptic. And also, it does lots and lots of things, which Brexit kind of doesn't, so maybe I'm defeating my own argument there. But yeah, it's Brexit and or taking back sovereignty, depending on who you ask. The people who don't like it call it Brexit, the people who do like it call it sovereignty, and control players call it Cryptic Command. It says, oi, governor, no, you can't do that, but you can draw a card, and you can tap all your opponent's ministers because no one can agree on anything, and then yeah, we'll just drag the game out until the next referendum or discussion. Also, I don't know if Oko could be converted. Do I do a battles now?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Oh, I'll hold back.
Yeah.
Cryptic Command
Rein
is
it in.
take back sovereignty or Brexit, depending on which British person you ask.
Very nice. All right. Both have yielded or stepped back with ample time on the board. This is very fast rifle answers. This is great. So let's go back for the rebuttal round now. This is just 60 seconds for this go around, and we're going to go back to Connor whenever Pixie says go.
Go.
Well, I actually agree. I think Vince's answer is quite a good answer. The only issue is that there is a strictly better version of what he said, and that's Very Cryptic Command, which has 6 different cards with 2 different pieces of artwork that all does different things that nobody can agree on, which is the actual proper Very Cryptic Command. So I think I agree with Vince's answer. However, it is categorically incorrect because there is just straight up a better card for it.
Oh, okay. Man, these are just short, concise, and to the point. Let's go back to. I assume that you were relinquishing the rest of your time, Connor.
Oh yeah, it wasn't just like a massive dramatic pause. That wasn't really.
That would have been great. Vince, back to you. 60 seconds on the clock. Whenever Pixie says go.
There's 2 problems with Connor's logic. The first is that Oko, the most famous trickster in all of Magic now, would be a monarchy. Would be against the monarchy, when we know that all the tricksters in British Parliament are super for the Queen. They all love it. All those fucking dorky jokers that we have as politicians, they love the Queen. And secondly, the idea that there's a strictly better Cryptic Command, but then you couldn't tell me which one it was. That's Brexit in a nutshell. Brexit will go on for years and years and years, and we'll have more very Brexits and very sovereign pullbacks and commands and cryptic commands, and no one will know what to call it. In years to come, people will say the word Brexit and no one will know what it is. In the same way there's 5 or 6 cryptic commands now. So if anything, Connor's proved my point by explaining that there are more complicated ones that no one knows what they do. If anything, he's helped me.
Wow. All right. Getting real spicy, but not from the person that you would think from this side of the aisle. Let's go back to Connor. Let's close out round 1 for your final argument, basically. Now that you have all the facts, why is your pick the best, and why is Vince's not? Why is it too cryptic?
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, Vince actually cut out for me for like the first half of his thing. So I'm not entirely sure what he said, but I'm gonna go ahead and assume that nothing of value was said. The thing is, Vince, is that you picked singular cryptic commands. You didn't say all of the commands. If you said the command cycle, you got primal command, you got the people who are working off of their base instincts that Brexit is going to be a good idea when it's not. You've got profane command, which is anything that a Tory says. Incendiary command, the fact that Brexit is dividing our country and destroying it socially, stuff like that. But you didn't. You said cryptic command. If you said the entire of the command cycle, completely agree with you. Unfortunately, your argument is self-defeating when you just pick one idea, which is not what Brexit is.
Oh, all right. So
I got like a bunch of in the top of my nose as I was ending that.
That's why Brexit any length causes a British man to do. Okay,
it's true.
All right, Connor coming alive. Let's close out this round, Vince.
Cryptic command was the British translation, or the American translation of the word Brexit. And Connor said that I didn't pick the whole command cycle. Well, most people didn't really vote specifically for what Brexit has become. No one knew what they were voting for. No one knew what they were getting. So actually, in fact, I think the fact that I didn't pick the command cycle was almost thematically more poignant and on the point of the fact that Brexit and cryptic command are the same thing. You might not get this command. Hell, you could blindly jab at cryptic command and get different modes each time, which is kind of what you get with each and every offer that we get through Parliament with Brexit. So actually, I think it's perfect, my friend. And every time you just keep giving me more fodder because I didn't make any notes and didn't think this through.
Wow.
All right. What a fiery first round. This is not disappointing whatsoever. Pixie, you are also a person on the couch as far as another commentator goes. How do you think round 1 closed out?
Round 1 is really close. I think both competitors had great answers and great arguments. I don't know who you're going to pick at all.
Let's go over what we know. So Spice 8 Rack, Connor said, his pick was Oko, Thief of Crowns, and because basically it was, and then he kind of went off like on the word Republican means and how the U.S. gets it quite wrong, which I quite agree with, and then he stated that Kenobi's cryptic command wasn't cryptic enough, and that was kind of the rebuttal, and then also threw in artifacts too, so it was we kind of got like a point and a half for a pick there. And to be clear, no extra points awarded for overachieving. Sorry, Connor. But then we go over to Vince's argument. He picked cryptic command. A lot of Brexit. No one knows what it means, and that's kind of what the point of what cryptic command is. And then he says, Oko would be against the monarchy. So with all the facts in, just for sake of argument and everything, I would have to go with Pleasant Kenobi for round 1. I'm going to pick cryptic command as the argument. So first round goes first blood drawn by Vince. Vince, you now, but compelling. I mean, it was super razor close. So Connor's definitely not even close to being out of this yet. He's probably just awake. Now we're gonna go to round 2. Vince, you get to choose whether you get to answer first now or give it back to Connor.
I do. So I don't know if anyone's talking right now, but I do keep dropping out, and everything slows down to like bullet time.
Oh,
so
no.
I am at a somewhat disadvantage.
Oh,
but it's fine.
What I'm saying, I thought Connor was getting frustrated or upset, but I think he's just can't hear what we're saying. I'm like, have I pissed him off?
Oh no! I know, right? I'm just like, he's usually a lot more smiling. If you during Vince's, well, no, I was gonna say we could, if you want, you could try to drop off and pop back in to see if that clears it up a little bit. We could We could fill the time in while you try that.
I'm going to quickly do that. I'll be literally right back.
Okay, so while we're doing that, Vince, you said that you have because of the whole bannings and whatnot, you have a great video that you're putting out scheduled today, or has it already been uploaded?
Yeah, it came out about 4 hours ago at the beginning of people getting home from in England. It's just a slow play of me playing some Legacy with my favourite deck that I couldn't play anymore because Ren in 6 basically invalidated the entire strategy because it made your mana denial bad and your X1's bad. And now Ren in 6 is gone, so Legacy is free of the menace.
Nice.
So yeah, I played some D&D today. I streamed a little bit of it on Monday. I'll be playing a lot of D&T over the next couple of weeks before GP Bologna rolls around because I'm playing the Legacy main event.
Excellent. Any big things besides that, like coming back to the States or anything on the horizon for you?
I've got nothing planned for
All right.
America until the new year. So hopefully the new year I'll show up again.
Connor,
That's the plan.
everything cleared up a little bit?
Mostly, you know what? I'm sure it'll all work out. I'm sure it will be fine.
Definitely.
Well, you
Some
look great.
reason Connor's webcam on my screen has got a lot bigger. Has anyone else noticed that? Don't know why Skype has done that.
Oh, no.
I have left and increased in size. Right.
Even my
I think
final
I'm back. I
form.
think
It
I'm,
happens. Yeah. All right.
I've closed all of my other tabs. I'm not gonna use notes just in case my laptop is like sapping power or something.
Oh, no.
Aha, we're now on the same level.
Curses, and I'm behind.
No notes.
You're still not on stimulants, though, Vince.
Is that the same can, Connor, or is that like the fourth can?
Judge yet lest ye not be judged. Thank you very much.
Ah.
Look, I'm a recovering energy drink addict. This is
Yeah, this is an
this
intervention.
is making me.
Yeah.
Oh.
I may or may not have a mini fridge behind me, but let's not go into that.
Man, it was the blue monsters that made me so fat. I never recovered. But let's go right to round 2. So Vince, enough stalling aside. Are you keeping the ball, or are you gonna kick it off?
I'll let Connor go first because that went really well for me last time.
I figured you might say that.
Curses, my hubris and kindness has not paid off.
Dang.
Perfect. So let's put 120
right.
seconds on the clock. PK. Pixie. This is gonna be tough, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear the question.
Okay, question number 2. It's movie time. Talks of a Magic the Gathering cinematic creation have been in the rumor mill for years. The most promising being an announcement in the last year of a project involving Netflix. We want you to share your thoughts on some up-and-coming UK acting talent. What lesser-known UK actor or actress do you think would be great as a Magic the Gathering character in a cinematic production? What role would you cast them in, and why would they totally nail the part? Okay.
Can't tell I have movie podcast or anything, huh? Connor, did you get to hear all of the question?
I did. I actually heard all the question. I wish I hadn't because I don't know that many underground UK actors. But
Well, neither do we. So,
I'm
Yep.
so glad you're going first.
you're like Bill
Oh, I'm
Blansky. Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
Right.
we're starting time now.
All right. He's not well known. He's like sort of, I don't know, C-list celebrity, but I think that Peter Capaldi would make an excellent voice for Nicol Bolas. He has gravitas, he has viciousness, he has a beautiful Scottish accent, and I would love to see Nicol Bolas portrayed by one of the most threatening sounding men in all of British cinema and television. So I think Peter Capaldi playing Nicol Bolas. Yeah, I think that's my answer. I don't really know what else I could say. I've been wrong-footed on this one.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I pulled up a Peter
There you
Capaldi,
go.
and I know it's not the same guy that you're talking
It's
about.
Peter Capaldi.
Connor's referring to
Yes.
the Doctor Who before.
Doctor Who.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, perfect. I know him.
In the thick of it, guy.
All right, over to Vince.
So I assume you have chosen or decided for us to pick British actors to try and bring some sort of British wit to the proceedings. So my first pick would probably be someone like David Mitchell. Now, he's not up and coming either, but he's slightly less famous than Peter Capaldi because he wasn't fucking Doctor Who. I know we'll come later, but I'm just going to throw that one out there. I think David Mitchell would make like as an olden Urza who's just really sick of being as powerful as he is, and he's got the snark and the wit of a British Urza. Or he could be Khan, where he's bitter at his past creation, where he's just like, God damn it, Urza, why did you give me this metal body? And why can't I hurt other mortals? So I think that would be good if we went that way. I don't think it'd be good for a young Gatewatch, although David Mitchell's Garrick would be kind of funny and or hot, but I think I wouldn't go down that route. So
What?
more than one, because I've got one more.
Yeah.
Olivia Colman, because she's in absolutely bloody everything.
Oh, yeah.
And that's there you go.
From
she's
The
in
Favorite,
every...
right?
She's from what's she from? Not Torchwood. What was the thing about the lost child?
Movie?
Broadchurch?
Broadchurch. That's it. She's in Broadchurch. She's in The Crown now. She's won loads of BAFTAs. She's hardly up and coming either. She's also in Peep Show with David Mitchell, so they've got chemistry.
All right. Can you...
This is for either of us, is it? We are.
Before we go
We're really
back...
bringing the best of Britain, aren't we, Vince?
Like BAFTA award-winning actors as up-and-comers. I want that.
Before we go to Connor,
right.
what a couple of roles that David Mitchell's been in? Refresh my memory.
Apart from that Mitchell and Webb look, which is like, as you know, I was going to say something, but it's part of my rebuttal, so I won't.
Yeah, Vince.
Oh, you want to? So he's in the Peep Show is famously the like cult comedy that's become very, very popular with him in it. He's obviously the Mitchell and Webb look is the sketch show, and then he's more of a TV pundit these days. He's on like every other panel show as just being incredibly snarky and cynical and very, very funny and quick witted. That's basically his MO. Yes, I don't think he's acted much. I think he's in some really shit Shakespeare program where he plays Shakespeare. I'm just throwing some fodder there to fire back at me. But that show looked terrible. Ignore that one.
All right, perfect. Okay, so let's go. Thank you for the clarification to both of you. Let's go to the rebuttal stage. 60 seconds on the clock for Mr. Spice 8 Rack.
Sweet.
Go ahead.
So I think we could just take off the fact that we both said incredibly well-known actors, and let's just take off the paper stuff.
Than mine. Just gonna...
Let's not. Okay, you're using up my time. I take it back. So for David Mitchell to play Urza or Khan, I think that would be very fun. However, we were asked to pick the most appropriate actor, and I'm sorry that at no point is Urza ever this old bumbling silly old man. At no point is Khan this like joyous bumbling person, and Garrick is sexy, but neither is David Mitchell. I'm not sure where that was going, to be honest, but each to their own. Peter Capaldi is just the appropriate casting choice. He is Nicol Bolas. He has the villainy, he has the power, he has the gravitas. And I think we'd all like to see a Peter Capaldi character after his Doctor
10 seconds
transition, where he actually gets to explode and showcase his breadth of acting talent.
Okay.
It's time.
All right. This is a lot closer than it originally started out to be for this round. Let's go back to Vince. 60 seconds on the clock.
I've pulled my headphones out and I've got like loudspeakers. 1 second.
Okay.
I
hate it when that happens. Yeah.
I was wondering if you guys got huge amounts of feedback then, because I was so shocked at his retort that I pulled my headphones out by accident.
Talking about what
I didn't hear anything.
Right, my retort then. So you're saying that like David Mitchell wouldn't be able to encapsulate Urza. He could encapsulate a very pissed off, misanthropic Urza, because that's kind of like where you get to when you're a god, right? He could also encapsulate Khan being fed up of, like just everywhere he goes, he fucks things up, doesn't he? He creates his own little planet and then like absolutely infects it with alien evil people by stepping in goo. He can be very frustrated. And the point I'm getting to is that they've asked us to cast British actors in roles that aren't necessarily even voiced by British people in other media, or aren't quintessentially British characters, or any of that nonsense. So you can go for your like Scottish Nicol Bolas because you think the Scots are all evil or some weird statement. But I'm just trying to bring something new to the character, perhaps explore things with some casting of the first British actor I could think of.
Oh.
Hey, that's time.
That was almost a clip after the bell on that one, but no the less effective or infective, depending on how you took it. Let's go back to Connor for the closing argument.
I would like to remind the audience that Vince just said that David Mitchell is in a terrible Shakespeare production. If David Mitchell can't play just some random guy who writes plays, how are we going to expect him to encapsulate the pain and anguish of a part god? I think David Mitchell was just a ridiculous casting choice, and I think the person with the surname MacLeod potentially doesn't hate the Scots. Not sure about that one, but like we can open that up if you'd like. I'll take Flower of Scotland over your rebuttal.
Alrighty, closing arguments for this round for Vince.
Okay, you're saying he hasn't got range. What's Peter Capaldi? What is Peter Capaldi famous for? In the thick of it and being Doctor Who, and not particularly a good one that people liked. David Mitchell, in his sketch show, played many characters, such as, I haven't clicked the link yet, but some famous ones like Angel Summoner. That was a character that he played in that show. Homeless Man number 2. Do you see he's got scope and range? He's been Shakespeare. He's been a young lad who's got commitment issues. He's been Angel Summoner. He's got range. Peter Capaldi swears a lot, or is Doctor Who? And neither of those things is really Nicola Wallace now, is it? Let's be real.
Fiery end to this round. Oh my god, not even a drop off from the fire we saw in round 1. I am not a Doctor Who fan, admittedly. PK, you Pixie, you are, right? So
yes. So the only actor that I knew was Peter Capaldi. So the rest of them were randos to me, for sure.
Wait, you've got to watch the Tennant. You've got to watch Tennant.
Oh, okay. I'll write it down.
Like David Tennant in everything, as well as Doctor Who. Like he was in Broadchurch as well. Everyone, like England only has like 6 actors, so they just keep rotating to different.
Yeah, no, I love David Tennant. He was definitely my favorite Doctor. Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant you'd only seen Capaldi's series. Oh, sorry,
no.
I misunderstood you.
I didn't know any of the other British actors or actresses.
Show on Netflix or anything, you should watch it. It's great. It's one of the best British systems of all time.
So just for the question's sake, we said a more unknown, kind of a more speakeasy type of British actor, Peter Capaldi. Like Vince said, he's fucking Doctor Who. So I mean that was a little bit correct, right? And David Mitchell, I consider myself pretty knowledgeable as far as film goes, and I've never heard of David Mitchell. So that would, just as far as that part of the question, I would say, I would say that would be more in line with what the question asked. However, David, someone said, Connor said David Mitchell, not sexy. I mean, dad bods are back in, sir. So I didn't know. I saw some pictures. And I'm, cuddling.
We're grading it on sex appeal. Look at Peter Capaldi.
There's a kink in every group, man. You never know.
Imagery.
But what I did like on Connor's side is he said that yes, David Capaldi. I know I'm saying that name wrong. But David Mitchell couldn't really do a compelling Shakespeare. And what do we want in finally getting a Magic the Gathering movie or TV show? We want compelling people in the right spots. So that was a huge shining moment for his argument. And then with Vince. And Karn sucks. I loved that part of it because thank you for finally calling Karn out on his bullshit, because literally everywhere that silver bastard goes, he infects, and it's just like apartheid. So let's go to the pick is I think the pick has to go because I am such a proponent of and pusher of this Magic the Gathering thing in media. I want compelling characters. I'm gonna pick Spice 8 Rack, winning round number 2.
Wow.
We are all tied up.
Coming in clutch.
How did that happen?
1-1.
I don't know.
We are all shocked and surprised right now.
That's right. And according to the chat, I got both picks wrong, but that's okay. It's our show. So let's go to round number 3. Round number 3. So this is your chance, chat, to get back at me for my, whether you think it's questionable judging skills or not. This is all on you. I get to take a break. I'm still going to listen and commentate, of course, but you all are going to be picking the winner of this round, and this is very important because we're at 1-1.
Very important.
Very important. So PK,
Yes.
let's go to. Well, first off, Connor, you have control once again. Are you going to be sticking with you're 1-1 with going first now? Are you going to be sticking with this mantra, or are you going to be kicking it back off to Vince?
You know what? I'm gonna extend the olive branch, and I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna go first.
Wow.
I'm gonna make Vince look like a right dick. That's
wow.
my plan.
Tripling down on a questionable strategy. I like it. All right, PK. Let's Pixie. God damn it. Let's get the third question.
Okay, question number 3. As the world political stage continues its spiral into a dystopian cluster of dank memes, we aim to add to the madness. With the December general election coming up in the UK, we are dying to know which legendary planeswalker or creature of Magic the Gathering would you like to see running to be your representative in Parliament? Why is your choice the better candidate? Putting time on the clock. And go ahead.
So my pick is Doretti Scrap Savant. He is an industrialist. However, he understands what it's like to come from a disenfranchised background. He was viciously discriminated against within the academy on Fiora. And when he came back, he dismantled that power structure in order to create a fairer and better society, at the same time as improving things in a infrastructure sense for the people of his plane. And within my local constituency specifically, I think that idea of creating infrastructure for the people as opposed to just infrastructure for the wealthy and powerful is very much needed, as we have a big problem in my local constituency of lots of very expensive houses and flats being built with very little in the way of affordable housing. So yes, Doretti Scrap Savant, I would like to vote for him to represent me in Parliament.
Nice. So you do live in Seattle. So specifically Doretti Scrap Savant, correct? Because there is 2 iterations, I believe, of Doretti. So we're going with this.
Oh, sorry. I was the Doretti character. I mean, Doretti Ingenious Iconoclast is also like a fine representation of that. So just Doretti in general.
Perfect. I just wanted to clear that up for the chat. So just so everyone has all the information, let's go over to Vince. I'm sure you've cooked up something going second in these 3 rounds, so let's hear it.
Okay. So I wasn't going to come into this and play advocate, but I guess I'm going to play advocate because I can't just go for Okay. I won't go to rebuttals just yet, but I'm going to put forward Leovold, Emissary of Trust, because not only is he a man of many colours and many types of mana, being 3 colours himself, he's walked many paths in his life. He's going to be experienced, right? But from a functional perspective, not only is he an elf advisor, not some random inventor that builds robots out the back of a shed, but again, I'll get to my rebuttals later. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card a turn. He keeps the playing field level, and if we need someone to negotiate and sell this ship, to sell the UK out of hard times, out of this mess that is Brexit, someone to negotiate it, we need someone who will get it done, someone who is perhaps strong and steady. So I'm going to pick Leovold. He's also electable. Let's be honest. We've got a problem in this country. People won't elect socialists or people remotely socialist. So you're all about this backwater and or poor background or whatever. That's not electable. The papers will tear your candidate apart. But again, that's another rebuttal. So I'll hold back a little bit.
Okay.
It seems like we have touched a nerve on this round, Pixie.
I know.
Get here, but that should go against me.
You're not the only country that doesn't elect a more progressive candidate, so I feel your pain on that one, sir. All right. But I let's not, let's just keep going. Let's go to the rebuttals.
All right.
Go ahead.
So on the first point, Doretti has walked more than one color of mana. He's both red and black, so that's a lie. We also have Doretti isn't just some random creator who builds things in a shed. He dismantled what is it called? The Academy of Fiora, one of the strongest and most elitist institutions on the entire plane. He can get stuff done, whereas Leopold is just an advisor. We don't need more career politicians in politics. We need people on the ground who understand the needs of the people. Oof. Also, Doretti is cool.
Most importantly, he looks like Darth Maul from, spoiler alert. Never mind. Don't listen to me.
From the spoiler thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
We don't have that anyway. We don't have Disney Plus yet, so please don't spoil things.
No. It's on Rebels.
Oh, okay. I thought you were actually making a Mandalorian reference.
Oh, no,
I hope he's not.
I'm not.
Okay,
no, that's
good,
too new.
good.
I'm not that big of a dick. Yeah.
Oh, I love Baby Yoda. Sorry, continue. I would like to add that to my point. My love for Baby Yoda. I would like to add that to my argument.
That's relevant.
Yeah,
Yes.
Looks a bit like Baby Yoda. Sorry, continue.
Judge will say, we'll allow that to be added to the record.
Yeah. Sure. Yep.
All right. Let's go. Vince, let's hear your rebuttal, sir.
Go ahead. In that rebuttal way, he's like, he's not just one color of mana, he's two. Like I said, Leopold is three. Leopold has more background and experience than Doretti does, and you just told me that explicitly, which is very weird. Secondly, he dismantled a much beloved institution. So is this similar to how like the Conservatives keep taking the NHS and trying to privatize it? Is that comparable here? So you're telling me you want to elect someone who rips apart established convention in order to just like fuel their own ends, really, as opposed to looking for the needs for the many, drawing cards when people confront and attack your resources. Leopold will draw you cards. What will Doretti do? He'll recycle some scrap. That's not what we need in British politics. We need resource management and elves.
Elves. I like that point.
You just make
Leopold's desk. Yes, tidy desk, tidy country. Just going to say that.
Now we're talking about how size matters. Let's go back to Connor for the closeout for round 3.
For context, the Academy of Fiora is an elitist and incredibly bad institution that discriminates against people who are not born into noble classes. It's probably not a good idea to go toe-to-toe with a Vorthos on this one, Vince, I must admit. And also, Doretti doesn't recycle scrap. He gets rid of the bad that you currently have to replace it with the good that you lost. That is exactly what we need in this country. We need to get rid of things like Brexit. We need to get rid of things like the idea that we're going to sell the NHS and go back to the fully state-owned things like the railway system and the fully state-owned NHS. We have to nationalise. And you know what, Vince? Leopold may be 3 colours, but one of those colours is blue, and red is the colour that truly matters in this argument.
Wow. Wow. That was strong.
Jeez. All right.
I've been watching so many Twitch debates. When I have some of my sweet and sour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 points, really. Firstly is the direct rebuttal to what you just said. It's absurd that someone who's wanting to talk about politics and then who should be elected is talking about things being objectively bad. You're saying this institution's elitist, but that seems to be from your perspective. From my perspective, the Jedi are evil. Okay? So I think you taking this very much a perspective-based thing and saying subjective things as fact is a little bit icky. That's kind of what some sort of American politicians are doing right now.
Yeah.
And then secondly and lastly, our point was to find a politician that we think could get elected and do things. I agree with every policy your Doretti has, but I agree with the Greens and the Lib Dems for years, but they were never getting elected, buddy. So there's no point in putting up a Doretti because the public won't vote for them. But Leopold, he's a lovely-looking fella. He's got a lovely-looking desk. All right, people will vote for a Leopold because they want less taxes and more card draw. Doretti ain't giving that to them. He's just going to be like, look, I've recycled a car into a blender and down with these institutions that you like the NHS.
Time.
Ooh, all right. So we're going to give the chat about 2 minutes to pick the winner of that round. This is a very pivotal round. Like I said, we are tied up at 1-1.
I have a little look at what chat's saying.
Better not to. No, it's joking. No, it's chat's okay. I love you all.
I vote Vince. That's a good first start.
From
Wow.
some guy named Pleasant Kenobi. That's crazy. Yes. So while you were kind of fixing the connection, Connor, we got some updates on what Vince is up to. So while we're waiting on the votes to come in, any spoilers or tasty tidbits you could give us about your latest project that you've been working on?
Sure. I actually have it open just behind this. I'm working on the audiobook speedrun for the Wildred Quest, a book that I actually really enjoyed reading. It had some parts which I wasn't too hyped about, but not anywhere in like the same capacity as like the Greg Weisman's contributions to Magic the Gathering lore. So it's going to be like a pretty positive and very silly little video, like about 70 minutes long. So that's the current thing I'm working on. But I am working on something special for December, which is a question that has like bothered me for the entire time that I've played Magic. One of the first questions that I ever had about sort of like in terms of ludo narrative and mechanics. So I'm going to be bringing that to December. I'm not going to spoil what that is yet, but it has something to do with wild hogs. And that is my that is what I'm working on at the moment. And also I'm also doing a play. So that's me.
Excellent. Yeah, and you guys both, like you stated before, both survived going to Las Vegas for the first time. That was my old stomping ground. So any after hours that we could discuss real quick while any cool stories from the frying pan that is the Las Vegas desert?
Well, we did have a really lovely like walk around the city. Actually, me and Vince, we went to the Reese's Pieces place. We stood in the sun. It was just really nice. I've been like a massive fan of PK since like I started playing Magic the Gathering, and so to be able to just like wander around like a city and have a chat with someone who I've been like watching on YouTube for many years and who I really liked was actually like super chill. And also finding out that he was like a super cool person was one of the best things about Magic the Gathering Vegas. So yeah, that was a little tidbit of the story, a little bit of wholesomeness.
Oh, I thought he was talking about me for a second, and I was like, never mind.
I'm just confusing because that's very nice, and I appreciate that. And I'd get embarrassed and modest, and I want to move on. There's a PK in the chat.
Sorry, I missed everything. You went robot.
Oh, I was saying how I get embarrassed easily, so I'm going to move on the topic, not to be rude.
Wow.
There's a PK in the chat, and I don't know if that's me or Pixie, or is it another PK?
It's not me.
It's not me.
I'm Pixie Kitten Place.
Try and get the vote removed, pretending it's me. Oh.
All right, so I think we've slow rolled this enough. Do you have the official tally, Pixie?
I do. We have 4 votes for Leovold and 6 votes for Duretti.
Oh,
yeah!
That is a win for Connor.
We're going Bernie Sanders on this one. All right.
Yes.
Everyone went super robotic, and everyone is currently super robotic. So I don't know if Vince said something, and if I was like silent and he addressed a question to me, or someone did, I apologize. I wasn't being rude. I just can't hear you.
It's okay.
Very nice. Vince, what I don't know. What do you disagree with the chat's assessment?
I mean, I was just trying to go for as polar opposite to Connor as I could. So I told you guys before we start this, I'm going to avoid being like devil's advocate, and I was like, oh fuck it. I don't know. Just like I don't even like Leopold. I think he's a bastard, so I wouldn't vote for him.
I do like. We need more elves.
I know.
Yeah.
Thought to get someone voted for. That's what I thought. You know.
All right, well, we are now headed to round 4 with Connor enjoying a slightly 2-1. So if Vince wins this next round and I'm back in the judge seat, then we go to a sudden death question. But if not, if Connor wins this thing, then he wins it by TKO outright. So let's see what happens. This is a very pivotal round 4. So Connor, you won the love of the chat room. Are you going to be answering first, or are you going to be giving the ball to Vince?
Do I stick with my bad strategy? The answer is yes. I'm going first.
Okay.
Quad down.
Wow.
Let's go.
Okay, question number 4. Here we go. Mark Rosewater recently commented that Commander may in fact be the most popular constructed Magic the Gathering format being played today. In celebration of this factoid, we are literally putting you in the command zone. If Wizards of the Coast were to turn you into a legendary Magic the Gathering commander, what would that card look like?
Ooh.
Why would your card have the most killer win condition? And I'm putting time on the clock.
Wait. It looks like you might have cut
Everything's
out.
got really robotic.
Uh-oh.
Can you read the last quarter of that question?
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. If Wizards of the Coast were to turn you into a legendary Magic the Gathering commander, what would that card look like, and why would your card have the most killer win condition?
Oh, okay. So my card would be a mono red legendary. I'll just go mono red legendary advisor. I guess that's probably the closest thing to what I actually am. Art wise, I'd ask to be drawn by Wayne Reynolds because he's my favorite Magic artist. And as for a win condition, I think I like win conditions that like get everybody like everyone kind of wins the game. So I think my commander would, when it enters the battlefield, you would pick an opponent, and if that opponent won the game, you both won the game. That would be the entire point of the deck. As soon as the card went away, that effect went away. But that would be the point of the deck, to try and help someone else to win the game. And if they do, you win. I think that would, if that was something that I could design, that would be kind of ridiculous and fun. Yes, that would be me.
So you went a little potato for me. I think I missed.
Oh no!
No. It wasn't too bad, but you said when it entered the battlefield, when your commander entered the battlefield, you pick an opponent and then you help someone else. Then you pick someone to win.
So when it enters the battlefield, you choose an opponent, and if that player wins the game, if that player would win the game, you instead win the game. But if that player loses the game, you lose the game.
Got it. Wins. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. All right, let's go to Vince. You've had some nice ample time to cook up your own vanity card. So
Go ahead.
Right, I would be a mono white commander, and a good one, because they just don't exist. Because Wizards of the Coast haven't printed good white cards for years. They've neglected the colour for some bizarre reason. It has no discernible colour identity, so I'll be giving it brand new stuff. And do you know what? I'll be pushed. I'll be a clown or a jester or something. That doesn't matter too much. But when I'd make creatures draw you cards and gain you mana when they enter the battlefield, I'll be like a mono white Shu Lane. The reason being is that no one plays with crap commanders. If you look at EDH Rec, the reason that Shu Lane or Muldrotha are the most picked commanders is because people like to play with dumb, broken stuff. So I'd be the most powerful white commander going. I would draw you cards and gain you mana in some combination when you play white creatures. That's what I would do, because people want to play with that sort of thing, and we need more of that stuff in Magic, because Wizards aren't doing it. So if they aren't going to do it, I'll design it. Not that I can get people to play with it. But yeah, I'd be an incredibly powerful, color pie breaking white commander.
Like you added color pie breaking.
Well, you have to.
Wow.
I don't know if am I out of time? Am I out of time?
You still have a minute.
Oh, sick! I want to keep going. Okay. So the problem with white is that it doesn't have a color identity, that they give everything to it tertiary. So like it doesn't draw cards unless it's like really, really narrow and attached to like 1/1 creatures. It doesn't do anything. Like life gains its one thing, and life gain is crap. So the point is, I would open it up to be parts of the color pie that at the moment would be a color pie break. But in time, Mara would be like, you know what, Vince? You reinvigorated the color, and now we can do more things. Because King Kethis isn't a white commander. He's a 5-color commander. Okay? Mm-hmm. I'd make a white commander that steals part of blue's color identity. Yeah, now I'm done.
All right, perfect. No, both very. We both picked mono-colored commanders, but for very different reasons. This is nice. So let's go to the rebuttals. Why isn't white right? I guess, Connor.
Well, that's a question I've been longing to hear you on. So Like no, so I think it would be. I completely agree that White absolutely needs a strong change in the way that it's being like dealt with. I'm actually writing an article right now about how like White consistently gets the short end of the stick. However, I think making the most powerful White card that's ever been printed, maybe that's a step too far. Maybe we add something that is just like, I don't know, a little tidbit that White doesn't normally usually get, and then build on that. And when it comes to designing commander decks, I don't necessarily, at least from the decks that I play and the decks that other people I know who play, they don't want a super powerful commander. They want an interesting commander that does something that's a bit unique, rather than just like giving a White card blue and red abilities. So I think my card does something that's never been done before and makes for a much more interesting commander than Vince's just very, very good White card. Although I will give like
10 seconds.
Vince, it is White, milk on brand. I've got to give it.
Okay.
Wow, helping out the Kenobi with the branding, not too sure.
I mean, I don't
like my commander does. Much like my commander does.
Oh, so it all circles back. It was nefarious after all.
So
It looks like your pinky was blurred out, like it was censored. That was great.
Wow.
All right.
So it looks like there isn't really that much to give a rebuttal to, because Connor's just agreeing with the vast majority of what I'm saying. But I will counter one of his own points and the ending statement or thesis as well. Firstly, I'm not looking to steal red and blue or put red on blue's abilities on there. I'm literally saying we reevaluate where the color pie is, because blue gets the vast majority of things, including interacting on the stack and drawing cards, and even like mana box, for example, in the latest sets. So I believe that White should just have some of those things full on. But the problem with your commander, this unique thing you want to do, is that it makes me roll my eyes. What is the worst thing someone can do to you in Commander is king make. You have a game where the whole game's been interesting and complicated, and like, oh, herp-de-derp, I guess I win as well, or just we win, and those sort of mechanics are ridiculous and frustrating and not fun to play with. And I'm not saying my version of my Commander has to be super pushed and be the best White card ever printed. I don't want to abandon Legacy and Modern.
10
It can be
seconds.
a 5-mana, like legendary creature of a tribe that doesn't matter. But my point is, it'll be pushed for a White Commander, which is very easy, considering all the White commanders are complete and utter garbage. So no king making, and make White, I'm going to say these words with full stops in the way, good in Magic the Gathering again. Oh, I saved it.
Wow.
That's why I know the last second with that one.
That got real close, yeah. Perfect. All right. Let's go back over for the closing argument of this very pivotal, like there's stakes involved. Or anything, this very important round 4. Mr. Connor, when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Well, I would say that there are, I mean, White does have cards that can kind of interact on the stack. Something along the lines of 8.5 Tails is almost like a 3-mana counter-target spell that targets something you control, which is a very interesting mechanic that White has not seen before or since, and we could bring that back. White does have stuff in its color identity that just isn't being utilized. And you say, oh, we need to like reevaluate the color pie. That is literally just giving things that are blue to White. And my commander, yes, it's got that king making. In fact, no, it doesn't have a king making thing, because it says to everybody else, if you let this guy win, then these 2 people win. So they target that person. So it's not even necessarily a king makery kind of card. You can play it in terms of an aggressive card that you're going to try and encourage people to kill, or you can play it in a group hug style card, or a specific, I guess, equity-driven group hug type of
10 seconds.
Where you are helping one particular person out. So no, I think my card has variety, and your card is just big.
That's time.
There we go.
All right.
That was it.
I thought it was another dramatic pause.
That was a dramatic pause. That was a dramatic pause, but it was like a pause because I ended.
Perfect. All right. Vince, let's close it out.
So the reason that I went for more basic stuff like being able to draw cards off of creatures, for example, is because I still want it to fit within what White already does currently. The problem we have with recent good White commanders like Teshar is that they're not really White commanders. They're just commanders for decks full of colourless cards. 8.5 Tail was your example. That was printed, off the top of my head, 12 years ago? I mean, that just proves my point that we need more better White cards. Better and more interesting. And the other thing you said in the rebuttal before, that's what I'm going to go back to, where you're like, oh, people don't just want powerful cards, they want interesting. Sure, make interesting and powerful. Modrotha, interesting and powerful. Tulane, kind of interesting and powerful. Like, people will play the most powerful, interesting options they get instead of the same old, oh, I play a legendary creature and gain some life. I do like some of the ideas of what you're going with your, like, other players win thing. But that's as much as I'm going to say because we're in a debate. And
10 seconds.
it still causes politics at the table when, don't forget, all people, I'm doing the advocacy thing again, people just want to keep politics out of their games, Connor. So,
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you ended it.
Mr. Make White Better wants to keep politics out of the games.
Ooh.
I literally had someone tweet at me saying they were unfollowing me until I stopped being so political, and I was like, see you in like 40 years, bitch.
You don't need to follow me.
Yeah, you're like, I'm 21, I could outlive your boomer ass. But Pixie, this was a lot more of a I don't know, a cohesive argument, or not cohesive, but like more, they were complimentary of each other's sides a little bit more, because I think that even though we are in a debate, we could all kind of agree that there needs to be more diversity in monocolored commander cards anyways.
Yeah.
And specifically, I'm glad that both of these gentlemen both picked two colors that are known for kind of blasé, like, you know, vanilla commander cards. So not everyone just wants to play with Perforos or Elish Norn. So I loved both arguments. It's going to be...
No one wants to play against them either.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah. I hate to pick a winner of this one, but I don't know. PK or Pixie, you are not a commander player, but if you were, would you be more keen to want to sit down with the mono red, air quotes, Kingmaker Advisor, or drawn by Wayne Reynolds fabulously, might I add, or a mono white clown that is a little bit color shifty?
Well, this is tough because I really like playing mono white, but it does kind of suck. So having a really great mono white commander is very appealing. But I also like the mono red friend, like be a friend idea too. But I don't know if that really fits with red. I mean, usually red is just like blow people up. I'm not sure. I like both of them, so I don't know which one you should pick at all. I don't know. How are you going to decide?
Well, it is tough because, like I said, I love both arguments because I think WotC should listen to both arguments.
Heck yeah, they should.
Two brilliant people. But let's just go with the facts. Let's go with Connor first. So the mono red advisor, like I said, with the art, I did like that you picked an artist. That was cool. And then what it does is you pick an opponent. If that player wins, then you win instead, or if that player loses, then you lose also. And then you also said that white needs more. You want white to be more change incrementally than drastically, like Vince was saying, if I was listening to your argument correctly, Connor. And then white does
reform, not revolution. Yes.
Yeah. And then and then you said white does get to jump around the color pie. I think you both kind of said that because Vince, you said like that white gets to draw cards sometimes. You just had to jump through more hoops. They get a lot of tangential or areas to kind of flirt with the other color pie without having to add another color to the mix. So Kenobi, you said your mono white clown. I love that. I don't know why, but I love the mono white clown. Like a Chulane kind of play more with. So you're playing more creatures, which is in white colors by 4 value that might flirt with other colors. And you said that white has. We just need a complete drastic overhaul of the color identity. You want to kind of just blow up the whole system. And then, but Connor was helping you out. He said, reevaluate. Let's see. Yeah, he was also on there saying that he wants to reevaluate what the color pie does. And king making sucks. I do agree with that. I never trust a Feldegriff. And then more diversity in white. So again, this is a freaking tough one to pick. And this isn't, just to be, whatever, to keep this madness going. But I have to give this one to Pleasant Kenobi. I liked that mono white needs to, kind of needs a refresh and a rebranding, I think. So I'm going to go with Kenobi's on that one. We are all tied, ladies and gentlemen, 2-2. Sudden death.
Oh no.
Sudden death round.
See you on the other side, PK.
Which PK?
I know, right?
Yes.
Is it me? Is it Pixie? Is it the one in chat?
There's 3 of us
Definitely
now.
the one in chat.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is unfair. Right.
Okay, so sudden death round. Question 5.
And, and Vince, you get to pick if you go first or second. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, if it's sudden death and let Connor go first, does that mean he just dies? If he fucks it up.
Dun-dun.
Bang.
Dad jokes will get you nothing in this round. All right.
But it is still a debate topic, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. I will let Connor go first, as he likes to go first.
Because
My
this
favorite
is
thing.
sudden death, are we having the same amount of like rebuttals and all that?
No, we are just doing a opening argument and
Okay.
rebuttal.
And that's it.
No closing argument or anything. It's just those 2. And then during the rebuttal, we'll actually add another minute to the rebuttal in this round, because I not only want you rebutting or closing out that's a weird word. Closing out everything, but just kind of telling the audience and the judges and everything about why your overall argument in this performance is the one to go with.
Gotcha. Okay, here we go. Question number 5. This is it. Sudden death. In the Magic the Gathering Vorthos world, a great deal of storyline success comes down to the authors who are commissioned to write it. Recently, there was considerable controversy over a new author's handling or mishandling of an existing plotline. If you could commission any living author to write the stories of Magic the Gathering in perpetuity, who would it be, and why are they the best for the job?
It looks like Connor might not have gotten all the information on that one.
Okay.
Is that
Was it effectively Magic the Gathering writing is kind of whack right now? Who would do good Magic the Gathering writing? Is that
Yes.
the gist?
Yes. Any living author.
Oh, no. Come
Living.
on.
Yes. Making it difficult. Hello.
I think we broke Connor with that.
Hello?
Oh, and he's back.
Hello.
Oh.
He's back.
He's alive.
Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Right, sorry. Was it who would... Magic the Gathering writing is whack. Who should do Magic the Gathering writing? Is that the question?
Yes. That's the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Start the timer.
Go ahead. Yep. Anytime you go.
Maybe.
Go. Go. Go ahead.
I'm really sorry. For God's sake, hang on.
Oh, he's out. He is out. He left the call.
Uh-oh.
I knew that sudden death would do me well.
Fully professional setup.
Okay.
You just
he's
had
back.
to outlast the Skype.
Yes.
You
Technically, I've now lost.
It's like in Magic when you go to sudden death and you just need to change your life total by 1. It's like you play a life gain land on turn 1.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's the other way around.
Right. Whoever says Captain Crunch first wins. Go. Yeah. All right.
No. Okay, so did you understand the question, Connor? You're right. It's what living author could write better magic now?
And living. Okay, good. Fantastic. Say when the timer started.
Go ahead.
Neil Gaiman. Is there anybody else that could write? Sandman is one of the greatest pieces of a literary, sort of comic book, certainly, but certainly literary fiction in of the modern era, and that ties together religions and magical world. American Gods is a novel that has thousands, certainly hundreds of gods in it, unique characters, each with their own distinct personality and traits. Neil Gaiman is the obvious pick. He has so much experience writing fantasy novels that have large amounts of characters with really high concepts. He's also a phenomenal writer. My favorite book is Good Omens, written by him and the late Terry Pratchett. It is an incredible book. Again, loads of characters, but each of them feel real. Neil Gaiman is the person to pick. I'm sorry, there is literally nobody else you could say. Neil Gaiman. There we go.
Oh no.
Maybe in fact that the for the first time the going first might actually have
baby
been a thing here. I don't know, but we don't know. We haven't heard Vince yet, so let's go hear Vince's author. Who are you commissioning?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think So I'm going to go a bit more off the beaten track, but still very mainstream with Grant Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
So Grant Morrison is known for writing comic books for 2000 AD and later on DC and Marvel. He is very, very good at taking existing continuities, existing canon, for example, the X-Men and Batman, and reinvigorating them for readers and upping the ratings massively. So he is very good at taking existing canon and using it. He's also, when he does this, he will go back deep into the lore and find weird tidbits that don't even fit anymore, like the Batman of Zaron Thor, and he'll be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make this part of modern canon. I'm going to explain why once Batman wore a purple suit and thought he was from a foreign planet when he wasn't, an alien planet when he wasn't. He's good at incorporating previous lore, and that's the problem we've got. The most recent controversy was because the writer was just completely oblivious to the build-up they'd had of the relationship that he completely butchered. And we need someone who's willing to actually get, like, knee-deep in the trenches. I really want to go for a bit more representation here. He is Scottish, when Neil Gaiman's English. So, I mean, again, we can get a bit more off the beaten track there as well. And also, Connor's Scottish, and he said he loves Scotland, so he's got to vote for Grant Morrison, right? But this guy has a huge writing credits. Superman, Batman, like, sorry, am I out of time?
No, go.
Oh,
You're good.
You name all the big giants, Justice League of America, every single big comic book, every single big anthology of characters. He has done very well to very high ratings with very little, as far as I understand it, controversy around fucking things up like the authors on the Magic Canon have done. So I think Grant Morrison is actually a much better fit. Also, Neil Gaiman is... Oh, that's a talk. Okay, never mind. Grant Morrison. Let's get him in there. Let's get crazy with it. Let's let him appreciate the canon and do good by it.
Oh my god. Those were like the two polls, right? Like that was both like people that I thought
I can't lie.
would
both.
part of
So
this
good.
damn thing. Oh god. Why are you guys so good at your jobs during this game?
Dang it, you're supposed to
Someone's
suck.
supposed to like fumble a little bit. Give me a little bit of a break here. But yeah, let's go to... So this is just going to be the rebuttals and then just kind of mixed in, we're going to have 2 minutes, your overall, performance, why you deserve to win this episode of Anarchy in the UK Supreme Verdict. So Connor, first tell us why Grant Morrison is incorrect and then close it out, sir.
Go ahead.
Well, it won't necessarily be about why Grant Morrison is incorrect. It's just that Neil Gaiman has the slight edge, because I think Grant Morrison is a phenomenal pick. But the reason why I think Neil Gaiman has a slight edge is because not only is he very good at incorporating like singular worlds that have lots of different characters into them, but he's good at lacing those worlds together, a bit like a Planeswalker, to be honest, in the way that Sandman is canon within the DC Comics. The fact that Neil Gaiman can tie those two entire worlds together in a narrative structure that makes complete sense. And also, in terms of ratings, his books are some of the most highly rated amongst sci-fi and fantasy readers. He is a phenomenal writer. Nationality has nothing to do with it. The fact that he's also got an extended experience within writing for film, TV, and theatre. So that means that if Netflix wanted to get a writer on that had experience writing Magic the Gathering stuff, they just bring Neil straight onto the television show. He's also an actor. He could play a character. He could play Urza. Now I'm thinking about it, because he looks a little bit like Urza, and I think that would be absolutely peng, in all fairness. So that's my argument. Grant Morrison is a great pick, but Neil Gaiman just has that slight edge on being able to construct literally two different worlds to bring them together like a Planeswalker.
And then why is your overall kind of sandwich that you've made with all ingredients tastier than whatever Vince produced?
As in, like, all of my arguments, or just that one?
Yeah, sell yourself now why you are the clear winner of this this matchup.
In 30 seconds.
Right.
Okay, I think that Vince has brought a lot of power to the table, but I feel like I've brought a lot of nuance to the table. I feel that my concoction is very interesting. Nice. I feel like I've got different spices, different elements. I put in a bit, you know what, I reach for this jar, put it in, don't know what it is. It's oregano. You know what? It tastes delicious now. Whereas Vince has just put on slab of meat, slab of meat, slab of meat. Yes, it's delicious. Yes,
10 seconds.
Great. It's great ideas. I've just brought a little bit of that creative panache that Vince has, unfortunately, much like Pooh, Vince has been lacking.
Wow.
It's time.
I mean, I always have room in my mouth for a little bit more meat. So let's go back to Vince. Let's go to your deli meat. Come on. This is a kid show.
Okay. So my rebuttal is quite simple, really. As good as Neil Gaiman is, and as prestigious as he is, Connor's point was that he's very good at lacing worlds together. And whilst he might be good, I don't know if he's Grant Morrison levels of good. Grant Morrison has been like the head book runner on huge anthology collections like X-Men and Justice League, and on the tie-in books as well. And the problem we have with Magic is that it's not just a novel series. We've got core stories from multiple blocks. We've got a Netflix show coming. We've got comic books, and we've got novels. So actually, as good as we say Neil Gaiman is at this particular task, I don't think he has the credentials that like Grant Morrison would have on his resume for that particular skill set. On top of that, he's also like, I just looked it up, he's 6 months older, so he's got a bit more expertise in terms of age.
I've lost.
But I generally can't convey how much I think that the talent of someone who has brought multiple books together, spanning years of storylines. Like, he was the head architect on Final Crisis, which was a huge undertaking. Even if you didn't like the work itself, it was still relatively cohesive, and people did enjoy it, and it got relatively good reviews. Same with 52 as well, another really, really big book spanning storyline. So that way he can keep it together cohesively. Even if Neil Gaiman arguably could write a better self-contained novel, Magic isn't a self-contained novel, and that's the important part. Grant Morrison would be better as basically a showrunner for the entire franchise, spanning not only the books but everything else as well.
Good Lord! All right, thanks a lot, guys. Sorry, 30 seconds while you did the overall. Oh, you kind of did. You kind of mixed that in. Never mind. Yeah, I think. Why you?
Oh, Grant Morrison's basically the new Alan Moore, right? Like. And he would be my second choice at this point, I think. Well, but I'm just throwing that one out there.
I was saying, like, selling yourself why you won this match more so than Connor did.
Oh, because Grant Morrison? That's how much I believe in my argument, John. That's how much I believe my argument. Grant Morrison's expertise and his resume of entire franchise-spanning genre fiction. I will allow that to be my closing rebuttal.
Okay. All righty. Whoa, what? I mean, hopefully the chat looks like they love both Gaiman and Morrison. Like I said, that's not. I mean, both again, like the round 4. These are both two fantastic picks, and it's gonna be tough. Are you familiar with either? Well, I mean, you're of course familiar with like DC, Marvel, X-Men, all that stuff, PK, and then are you familiar with like Neil Gaiman, like American Gods, all that stuff?
I have never read anything from either of these authors, unfortunately, but I've heard of both of them, and I've always heard good things, so I don't know. I think they're both really great choices. Both of our contestants sold their arguments really well, so I don't know.
Just quickly, I'd super recommend watching, if you haven't already, the Good Omens series then, because he wrote the book, or wrote the book, helped write the screenplay, and was in it. It's amazing. It's one of the best things on Amazon Prime of all time, in my opinion. I can't recommend that enough.
So
if you do want Grant Morrison recommendations, hit me up, and I can tailor make which characters you like. So I can recommend you Batman stuff, but you might not like Batman, so that wouldn't make any sense. But
who doesn't like Batman?
Well,
I don't know. Some people don't.
Don't stuff Ben Affleck into a Batman suit and I'll like it. Even Clooney was better. Anyways, let's go. No, he wasn't. That was a joke. A bad joke. We're gonna go. Okay, so this is splitting hairs, but these are the points that really matter to me. Like thinking about a book or even like a TV series, show run. With these two gentlemen's stories. Gaiman's known more for originals. That these are all his characters, Sandman and like American Gods, Good Omens. These are all his original characters, but he seems to have such a fantastic understanding of and what are planeswalkers? Planeswalkers are godlike characters, superheroes of the Magic cinematic, multiverse. So who better to put that on screen with a original voice than Neil Gaiman? However, Grant Morrison, I'm thinking, Grant Morrison has he's only adapted other people's works. He's only taking characters that have already, and he might have done, and Vince, you correct me if I'm wrong, he's already, or had any new additions to DC or Marvel. I don't know if he has or not, but
yes, and he's also had additions to Image Comics and stuff as well. Like he's written his own stuff. There's a whole thing about like a school, a very X-Men style thing that he's done before as well.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, he had the framework already kind of in place, and he succeeded greatly with that. So I think he's done more than most other comic book story authors. He's done more with pre-existing characters than anyone else. So on that note, it's just like Magic already has these pre-existing characters. So who else to kind of drive it forward a little bit? Because you look like someone like a Jeff Johns or something that tried in the DCEU and failed miserably, even though he was so connected.
Grant Morrison's the Jeff Johns is the Jeff Johns that DC Universe deserves. That's what Grant Morrison is.
Exactly. So with just razor thin, because like I said, I think that Neil Gaiman would be just a great person to kind of make these additions to characters or have his own spin-offs. But if we're just talking about Magic the Gathering story already in place, I got to go with Grant Morrison. So I have to give the entire match to Pleasant Kenobi. I feel
and you know what?
Sick, but
he wins, but I win as well emotionally.
I can't see Connor's face on Skype, so I can't see how he's reacting.
He's
very
clapping.
blurry.
He's happy for you.
Good.
He's
I'm happy for him too, coming in second.
Oh, God, here it goes. All right, PK, let's go to the after match.
I'm back.
Yes, welcome back. I don't know if you heard, but you lost.
Sorry.
No.
Oh, no,
This is
I
the
lost.
good old British countryside internet that he's got there.
No, it was a fantastic match, gentlemen.
This is why we need to nationalize it.
I want to thank you both. PK, let's go to the after match interviews for our winner, Pleasant Kenobi, and our not loser, because it was a fantastic performance, but the other competitor, Spice Arak.
Okay. After competition questions, a question for both of you. How did you prepare for this thing today? What's it called?
The thing that we did.
Yeah. Vince, how did you prepare?
I spoke in a group message with people and said that I wouldn't do any devil's advocate stuff on political issues, then did anyway. So I ignored the only small amount of prep that I said I did. And I guess I thought about and played a lot of Magic, as that's kind of what I do.
Great preparation.
And I really like it. Magic's pretty good. I'm into it.
It's decent, yeah. Connor, how did you prepare for today? Connor, are you there?
Oh, sorry, I'm back.
Bueller.
He's frozen again.
One sec.
Oh, he's out.
Oh, so unfortunate. I feel like it was almost, Skype was rooting against him. His own
There we go.
There we go. Okay. How did you prepare for today's match?
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
You're
so big again.
Sorry about this. Oh, well, come on! What is this? Oh!
Does he think he won? What happened?
I think he's just getting pissed off in a very nice way.
Right.
He is getting pissed off in a very nice way. Hi.
I think I'm back. Hello. I'm so sorry. I prepared. I prepared by apparently pouring lemonade in my router, and I like the only.
What's a router?
I really.
Well, I mean, we are like an hour and a half in, and we've only got our first like confusion between English and American.
So we got it. We did it.
Pretty good.
Yay!
So,
Yay!
Yeah. Right.
I prepared.
He prepared.
I prepared.
Perfect.
I prepared by I used said some vague. This maybe is what we're going to be talking about. Ooh, stuff. So I prepared by creating Magic the Gathering mechanics for all the major political parties within the UK, creating a Planeswalker version of Jeremy Corbyn, and creating, because I knew we were going to be talking about movies, so I thought maybe it would be design a set based around a British film. So I designed a set based around the film Brazil.
Oh, nice.
And and none of that came up. So
no.
So all of my hard work, I turned nationalization into a mechanic. Oh God, this is all just the worst. No, I had a great time though.
Wow.
So I will invite you back for the Terry Gilliam themed Supreme Verdict.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That can also be fodder for a future video as well. It's not lost work. No work is truly lost.
Right, yeah.
I'm really quite proud of how I've done the Lib Dems dirty with my mechanic turncoat. So I think potentially I could do something with that.
Well, this was insane. This lived up to the billing, potato internet aside. But and this is technically a singles match in the league, but it is tough having different time zones and whatnot, but just I'll ask this question to both of you. If you could, live in a magical time and we didn't have to worry about time zones, throw a name out there that you would like to compete in a further or in a future match of Supreme Verdict, and we'll go with Connor first.
Oh, thank goodness! Just before my internet explodes, if I could pick, I think either Groucho Marco or Ristic Studies. I would be really interested to see what both of them would bring to the table. I think preferring Groucho, just because I think that he's got a channel that just needs more attention. He does so many good videos, and I just love him to bits. So Groucho Marco.
1,000,000% agree with that one. Vince, who would you like to call out? Any names on the table?
Would never challenge Ristic Study. I think he'd destroy me in in anything, whether it be physical, actual endurance from his marathon running to his intellect. I would probably call out Toma because that would be pretty funny. Crim, I think Crim would be pretty funny. Both of those two from Goldfish. I had a third one, but it's just slipped my mind. No, I've gone to a weird moment where I can't remember what my third one was. There's my two.
People in the chat are saying Benjamin Wheeler, so I don't know.
Oh, get Benjamin Wheeler on, and I'll throw eggs at him or whatever thing he's into these days. But Wheeler's pretty fun. He's a quick-witted fellow. He's probably one of my favorite Twitch streamers actually. So Wheeler's a very good shout.
Excellent. Well, thank you, gentlemen, both. Pixie, thank you for co-helming this thing with me. Again, did not disappoint. Everyone go and check this out. But where can everyone find you, my friend?
Everyone can find me on YouTube and Twitch. You just search Pixie Kitten Plays, and there I am. Just check it out.
Absolutely. Go subscribe up to that Pixie Kitten. Connor, the Spice 8-rack came up short a little bit today, but not in our hearts. Sir, you put out fantastic content every single time. It's just really great stuff, and you're just such a gem to know and to talk to and to hang out with. So where can everyone find you, sir? So thank you for coming on. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Spice 8-rack. Just type that in. I'm the guy that did the half-an-hour-long Goblin essay. And on Twitter, I am at Spice 8-rack. And those are three. Oh, and just started doing streaming every Sunday and Tuesday from 5 till 7. I tried to not clash with anyone. I really hope that I'm not clashing with anyone here. I did my research. But you could find me there 5 to 7, Sunday and Tuesday at Spice 8-rack on Twitch.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Vince, you again are an incredible person, incredible competitor. You did good work today. Your channel speaks for itself. It's amazing. Even with your collabs with on Dice Removal, you have been a great co-host on that as well. Fantastic content and just a brilliant dude. Graciously having me on your channel and coming on here. It's been absolute fun to hang out with you on our occasions that we've got to. So where can everyone find you? And again, thank you for hanging out.
No, thank you. I've enjoyed this a lot. I can be found on youtube.com/Peasant Kenobi, where I make lots of Magic videos around different formats, anything from Commander, Legacy, Modern, Standard, Cube, all sorts of stuff. I play ludicrous decks as well as competitive decks as well. I play on twitch.tv/Peasant Kenobi every Monday night at 7 p.m. GMT, but sometimes it's BST when our country decides to change the time zone still for some bizarre reason. And I also do a bit of very time zones too. If you want to know the other time zones, follow me on Twitter, where I am twitter.com/Peasant Kenobi, where I just shout a lot about Magic and occasionally how shit my country is. And then,
Hey, how shit our country?
Our country.
Hey, how shit
our country,
all of our
sorry.
countries can be.
Yeah.
And then Instagram, Pleasant Kenobi on Instagram as well, where I post pictures of food, my dog, and sometimes magic cards.
Nice.
Thank you so much once again to my competitors, my co-host PK. You could find me right here on this very channel. They said, we said. You could talk to me about movies and magic at Orzhov Done. If you like this, go ahead and tell your friends about it. Like it on YouTube, thumbs up. Tell everyone that we're doing this thing because it's a shit ton of fun. Also, if you like Supreme Verdict, don't go far because in just a few hours, we're doing the second ever live teams match, and that's between Joey Schultz, Matt Morgan for Team EDH Rec podcast versus Jake and Joel Are Magic, two fantastic YouTubers, podcast people. It's going to be fun. So we are closing out 2019, the debut year of Supreme Verdict with a bang. And then, of course, once again, join us on December 11th for the championship match for the Singles League Championship with Jason Alt, Cat Light, Alex Kessler for all the competitors. And co-host Pixie Kitten, I'm John. We'll see you next time.